Hello everyone and welcome to this video going over the patch 3.0 notes. Obviously the biggest thing in this patch is the addition of the ghost face. But I have already made videos going over his power and perks, both the older version of him and the newer updated version, which I will link here for you guys to go watch if you want to. Now let's get on to the other changes made in this patch. You will probably notice that the lobby screens as well as the generators, hooks, and lockers in-game look a little different. This is because of the 3-year anniversary event, but it is not a permanent change made in this patch. But I hope you enjoy the 3-year anniversary theme. First off, you can now rotate your characters in the lobby. If you are looking at your killers, you can rotate all of them, as well as your survivors. And for survivors, you can also rotate them when you are inside a killer's lobby. Now you can finally spin around outside of the store. Now for gameplay adjustments. They have added a new stun effect for killers when they are hit by the pallet. They have also modified killer swing animations to match the distance at which they can hit a survivor. This was done to help mitigate situations where a killer would hit a survivor, but their weapon or hand would not look like it was reaching the survivor. In addition to killer swing animations matching, they have also added a small swing effect to mitigate when hits look like they should have missed targets when in fact they found a target and hit. They are still working more on this so that way hits can look better connected. For survivors, they will now turn their heads when their camera is looking around. So this happens when a survivor interacts with an object in the environment, not when they are downed or incapacitated. This was done, obviously, for the new killer Ghostface, where his power depends on whether a survivor is looking at him or not. This wasn't mentioned in the patch notes, but now you hear a sound when We're Gonna Love Forever gains a stack. You also hear this new sound if the killer grabs you or takes you out of a locker. They have also done some art adjustments. They adjusted certain dark cosmetics that gave players an advantage to be lighter. I'm assuming this is actually just a Claudette nerf. They have reworked some characters' hair, and they adjusted Killer Instinct effect to remove red fill effect, increase frequency of pulse, and add an offset to where the symbol is displayed. Modified the scaling of the symbol to stay more consistent, and these changes also affect the killer power Feral Frenzy of the Legion. So if you're not sure what the Killer Instinct effect is, it's when it's showing that entity symbol on a survivor, and then when they get in the killer's view, it shows their aura in red. This is part of the Legion and Ghostface's power. In the patch notes it says they only reduced the chase music for survivors, but it has also been reduced for killers as well, so the chase music is not as loud as it was before. Another change made for survivors is that when they are picked up by the killer, they will no longer hear the killer's heartbeat. Now for the map changes. On Larry's Memorial Institute map, they have removed the RNG factor from the window setups in the rooms of the map. So each small room now spawns with the same window configuration. They don't mean one specific small room, they mean every single small room. So, for example, all the tiles, that is like these 4 bathtubs, they all now have the same layout as each other one. All the tiles that has the one pallet in the showers, all those tiles will be this exact same as well. So each tile of the same type will be the same as every other tile. I hope that makes sense. So you can see I'm running around the map here. You can see practically every single door on every tile is open now. There's only like one room where a door is blocked, but it still has like 4 open doors on it. So Larry's has become more accessible for killers now, having practically every single door open and only one window in each room. Then for the Yamaka Estate theme, they have added a new maze tile, which I will show you guys here. And finally, Macmillan Estate maps, they just put more obstacles in between map tiles now. Now they have also done some Survivor Emblem changes. So for Lightbringer, you now get 20 points for cleansing a Dole Totem, and 5 points if a Dole Totem is cleansed while you're in chase. You get 10 points if a Hex Totem is cleansed while you're in chase, and then a third of each 1% of a generator repaired while you're in chase, capped to a maximum of 33.3 scored for each generator. So now, since you get Lightbringer for cleansing Dole Totems, there's no excuse to not do the Dole Totems. It doesn't take very long, there are 4 survivors in every game. If each survivor sets out with the mindset of having to kill Dole Totems, then those 5 Dole Totems will die extremely fast. So it doesn't take very much time at all. Every single game I play, I'm always looking for Dole Totems and keeping count, because I want to make sure that I can deny the killer his no one escapes death if they are running it. Because if you can completely negate a killer perk and make it so they only have 3 perks, then why wouldn't you do that? A lot more survivors need to start looking for Dole Totems because it is a very important part of the game. And by looking for Dole Totems, you can also figure out if the killer has other hidden Hex Totems, such as Hex Devour Hope, which doesn't give you an indicator until it's already too late. So, moral of the story, do Dole Totems and your games will go better. Because remember those statistics they showed earlier? Most ranks, Noed is in the top 4 most used perks until you get to Red rank. Red rank, Noed was not in the top 4. So, with those statistics, you'd be dumb not to go after Dole Totems, at least if you're not in Red rank. But even if you are in Red rank, you should still do Dole Totems, because you can completely negate a perk. Now for the Benevolent Emblem, you will now get 10 points for sabotaging a hook within 10 meters of a killer carrying a survivor, and only if the carried survivor then wiggles free. So this is basically when you sabotage a hook in the killer's face so that the survivor can escape. And then they added another event for the Evader Emblem. You will now get 50 points for stunning a killer with a pallet. Now for the survivor perk changes. Streetwise, they increased the efficiency values from 10, 12, 15% to 15, 20, 25%. And here is the new Streetwise versus someone without using Streetwise on a yellow flashlight. Windows of Opportunity. They reduced cooldown values from 60, 50, 40 seconds to 30, 25, 20 seconds. Unbreakable has had its recovery speed buff. Instead of being 15, 20, or 25%, it is now 25, 30, and 35% increased recovery speed. And now for Mettle of Man. So now, in order to get tokens in this perk, you have to take protection hits. You no longer get tokens from just getting hit by the killer. It still requires 3 tokens to activate, and it works as it did before, where you have to be injured in order for Mettle of Man to proc. So what are protection hits exactly? Well, protection hits is when you take a hit for another survivor. However, it does not count as a protection hit if you take a hit for a healthy survivor. So basically, in order to get a protection hit, the injured survivor has to be in chase, or the survivor has to have been recently hit, and then you take a hit within a certain amount of time after that survivor has been hit. And you have to be in chase as well. Now, you can also get protection hits if you get hit by the killer when they are carrying a survivor, and also if you get hit by the killer before or after hook saving. So you have to be a little more calculated now in using Mettle of Man. Now for the killer perk changes. Pop goes the weasel. They changed the regression values from 15, 20, 25% to a flat 25% across all tiers, and they changed the window of activation time from 30 seconds to 40, 50, or 60 seconds, to give killers more time to use that perk. Territorial Imperative. Reduced cooldown from 30, 25, 20 seconds, down from 60, 45, 30 seconds. They have updated Enduring to be a flat reduction in pallet stun duration, so it is down from 55, 65, 75%, now is 40, 45, or 50%. So when a killer gets stunned with Enduring, it's a 1 second stun now if they have the perk. Now Enduring only affects pallet stuns now, so it does not work against Decisive Strike or Head On. Now if the killer is stunned with either one of these perks, they will see the red special effect on their screen. If you want to know more about all the bug fixing they did this patch, I will link the patch notes in the description below. And that is patch 3.0. I hope this video has helped you out, and thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the changes made in this patch, and, as always, good luck out there in the fog, and see ya next time.